I wanted to talk about the shift in people since the jabs came out. And good morning, I'm having my coffee. Uh, and I just, a lot of you are alone going through this. A lot of us resisted it. A lot of us have been speaking up. A lot of us are finding solace with one another as we settle in. You know, it reminds me of some parts of movies I've watched of World War II. We were scattered. We fell outside of zones we understood. We had to restructure, come together, and now we're all reporting the same data, and that's good. The feedback means we're all in the same body as one. But there are those now that are in some as I guess you could call it a synthetic hive mind. I want to say it has to do with CERN. CERN created the internet. It was started in 1955. In recent years, they've been firing it up. It has to do with the Stargate program. You have 7 seals over your soul. You are a star. So those seals are gates. They know this. It's through the DNA. That's why Donald Trump has the Stargate program. All right, in the Space Force. It's not outer space, it's inner space. Okay. And I believe a lot of these people have been rewritten of their DNA because that's how God works, through that antenna. Well, if you make the antenna into a different shape, then you could send a different signal. And I believe people weren't spiritually sound when they received this, so they were rewritten. So they were receiving an algorithm quantum signal from something having to do with CERN and D-Wave type technology, which is fallen angel technology. And I know they started installing all of the infrastructure in my town as soon as the COVID lockdowns started. I mean, it was obvious there was infrastructure money that was released. It had been held up for some time. And all of this 5G, if you would, for the sake of time, like technology, was starting to be installed in streetlights, in corners, on houses for utility companies, in streets for utility companies, wireless technology. And this is all new technology that's important to mention because it directly interacts with your auric field, okay? So it directly interacts with living things. It's designed to. So this was installed all around, and people's blood was rewritten, the DNA out from the interior of the cell out. Now, the blood is the spirit. The spirit is in the blood, if you read the Bible. So they rewrote the spirit, or I think of a prophecy, they polluted the waters. Well, you could look at it as bodies of rivers and such, or you could look at it as the waters of the blood of man. And so at some point in 2023, I want to say, I don't think it was late 20, yeah, it was 2023, I want to say, maybe mid 2023, maybe late 2022. There was a shifting point. You know, this jab had been out, people had been hurt. I was actively discussing and educating people. I was in a traumatic state. I had just lost people in my family before the COVID stuff, and I had a caregiver. So I was trying my best to gather. I was trying my best to instruct and inform, but these people were not yet, I mean, they were suffering from chronic illness related to the jab, but they hadn't shifted. I want to say it that way. And then I want to say, if it wasn't late 2022, it was late 2023, it happened. People that I had spent a lot of time around. I have a discerning spirit. You know, I kind of collect and take in data nonstop, almost like a king's guard. And something shifted, and people shifted, and a deceitful spirit entered into people that I otherwise wouldn't have any problem sitting amongst, you know, even briefly, you know. So I noticed this, and, you know, I've lived in the same place for about 46 years, 47 years. And so the shift I noticed was significant being in this situation. I'm like in a snow globe. And the shift in my living area is significant. The shift in people, the change in people. Obviously, the mass die-off of people that no one wants to admit. And I want to take you back to the Queen of England during her Jubilee. The jab was just being released. She was in her courtyard. She had hit a button. There was a giant Jacob's ladder in the courtyard there, and it was made of lights. And when she hit the button, it lit up. But instead of just a double strand helix, there was a triple strand. There was a third strand of DNA. And it makes me think of Baal, the capstone, the cornerstone, the third pillar, the third pillar to trump God, become as God, and come into the temple and be as God. And so, with that said, I feel that they came into the temple. And they, I mean the people that have this fallen angel technology of transhumanism, morphing God's delicate and sacred creation into something that's hackable and usable and disposable. It's sociopathic, okay? It's satanic. But that's where we are. So we had a remnant of people that held out from this, and it was devastating for me because I was trying to heal myself, and I was devastated watching others fall, not really listen. It was devastating. A lot of it I've just processed in the past year or two. And the Lord is leveling me up. The Lord is good. He provides. If He doesn't deliver you right away, then you're in a season for a reason. Hang on. But as I'm leveling up and starting to get up from a lot of heartache, I notice a lot of you are talking about this. This is real. And we could suspect what's going on is people have been rewritten of the DNA and are receiving through some kind of frequency of the air an algorithm. And they're rewritten so whatever they were doing before they took the vax, they're on that algorithm. That's it. If they were never connected of the silver cord and never born again, then these people have been effectively made into something unnatural. And I've heard many different feedback on progress, and I don't know the depths, of just how devastating this is, but it is big. It is not to judge others. It is just to grasp an assessment of what's going on, because it's just not going on in America. It's going on all over the place. And I have brothers and sisters all over the world that are going through this. Some are like me. They're going through it alone. Some have vulnerabilities and are trying to process sufferings. And my heart is with you, because this is a creepy time. And, society had been structured to surrender any beauty or integrity it had at 9/11. A 9/11 cult was created out of the magic from the 9/11 event, and that pioneered the silent destruction of human privacy rights, created a new type of human being, created a new type of fish tank, created a new type of pH. When you decide to pat somebody down and you put your hand on their privates, you could validate that however you want, but because you don't understand spiritual things, you are degrading and lowering them and stealing their auric frequency. You're putting your hand in one of their most vulnerable places because you're allowed to. And you surrendered and became these people after 9/11. And they became a cult. It became a cult for 20 years or 19 years to get to the COVID-19. That way the police and the fire, who were running on 9/11 programming, could elect 45-47, right? Which is 9/11. And Didn't they build a bottomless pit at the memorial of 9/11? They erected a king over them of the bottomless pit, 9/11 in Revelation, Abaddon. He deceiveth the whole world with his pharmakia. So I'm leveling up. I'm feeling a little bit better. It's horrible, though. You know. I listen to many of your channels. You're very encouraging. We feed off one another, and this is biblical. This is what these times are for. And we are scattered, and we're coming back with the same data, which is very lifting. It's very validating, nourishing, and healing. And at the same time, we use one another to balance our ways through this. Many of us are alone, relying on faith, not by sight. Many of us have limited resources, and some of us have vulnerabilities that others don't. And there's a remnant. This is the remnant. It's the remnant of mankind. It's the remnant of the church. And if you have not received Christ yet, become grafted in. Do that inner research. It's an inner job. When you close your eyes and you surrender yourself and you sit there silently, you meet God at the place of the pineal, that third eye, the pineal gland. They allude to it in Catholic churches with the pine cone and such. That's your spiritual throne. So when you close your eyes, you're before God. And Satan mocks you all day before God with the left and right hemisphere of the brain. He mocks you while you and God are face to face, and he tells God why you're not worthy. Sound familiar? But you've got to meditate through that. You've got to marinate in that. You've got to become stronger, like weightlifting, tearing undeveloped muscle over and over till it becomes developed. So if you're somebody who's awake and alert and has found yourself through the end of this horrible 6-year tunnel, and you have not received Christ, now is the time. And I'll just be quite honest. I don't know how much and what is redeemable at this point. And there is a rapid shift. It is disturbing, but the Spirit keeps me, And this is not for us to take action on and handle. We're not part of, remember, any revolutionary spirits. The Spirit will guide you, through righteous anger. We don't really have much to react to or do except be here. And, never stop doing good, but be very discerning. Don't be just a do-gooder, because the times are very deceitful and people aren't the same. And even though I know all this information, I still have a hard time putting it all into place when I leave the house. It's so beyond. So, I just wanted to do a video, as others are, on the change in people. And I'm reporting from Northeast Pennsylvania. And that starved human connection that we saw before COVID, pride before the fall. People were lovers of self, exploiting their sexual person and celebrating it, and celebrating lawlessness, celebrating it, making holidays, this and that. And that's where people were when this elaborate scheme was pulled off. Pride before the fall. But, if there's a remnant out there, it's not too late. I hope you receive this with love, and I hope you're doing well. Take care.